Hello and welcome. I'm Silvia Pavoni, economics editor of The Banker, and I'm in Buenos Aires for the meeting of the G20 finance ministers and central bankers. And I'm here with Italy's finance minister, Pier Carlo Padoan. Thank you for joining me.
My pleasure.
So we are in Latin America, where the threat of populism has come back. There are similar concerns in Europe, and to a certain degree perhaps even in Italy, where we had inconclusive elections, which although pointed to a rejection perhaps of the established parties. Are you concerned that some policies of a populist nature may be introduced eventually in Italy, and what would that mean for the country?
Well, to judge from the electoral programs of some parties in the Italian election race, yes, there is some source of concern, but I'm confident that once in government, if at all, these parties will take a much more prudential and prudent attitude.
So we're recording this, of course, on the 19th of March, so we don't yet know whether we're going to have a government and which kind of governments we're going to have. Something else I also want to ask you is about the banking sector. So something that sadly has characterized Italy over recent time is the high level of non-performing loans. NPLs have started to go down. Are they low enough, and will this trend continue?
They're not low enough yet. They're going to be low enough, however, in a relatively short period of time, because I've seen a change in the dynamics of NPLs. Banks are more happy to get rid of those NPLs that have been lying there in their balance sheet for a long time. And also the environment is improved. There's more growth, macroeconomic conditions are better, and there's more use of state guarantees such as the GACs, the state guarantee mechanism, which facilitate acceleration of NPL disposal.
What is the role that the Italian banking sector plays within Europe's banking sector?
Well, of course, we are in Europe in the process of completing banking union, and completion of banking union is also an issue of convergence of national banking systems. So we have to find compromises that accommodate different starting points, including the Italian banking sector, which now has been taken off the risk list because of improvements in several banks, but also the way some specific crisis situation were dealt with, and now we are off the crisis list, and we think that the Italian banking system will contribute also to restructuring and concentration to the health of the European banking union.
And lastly, the levels of NPLs, of course, deteriorated badly on the back of the recession that hit Italy. Economically, the country is doing better, and therefore we can hope for a lower level of NPLs also on that. There are certain parts of or certain elements of the Italian economy that still needs very much improvement. One of them is, of course, the still very low level of productivity. What could be done to improve this?
Well, productivity requires more investment in human capital, knowledge capital, fixed capital, and this has been accelerated including by the measures taken by the governments over the past 4 years. We're seeing an acceleration of private investment. We will hopefully see an acceleration of public investment, which will also contribute to productivity growth. This is a long It is a long march towards increased productivity, which Italy must address, has been addressing, and will eventually succeed in addressing.
So you're hopeful that the country will start turning a corner?
I am confident that the country has built up enough resilience and dynamics that will self-sustain itself over the next few years.
Minister, thank you very much for your comments.
My pleasure.